G'day everyone, welcome to Xrissart. My name is Chrissy. Thank you for joining me and we are back. Okay, testing papers with coloured pencil studies. Okay, so this is still part one, and the surface that I'm using is the Fontaine by Clairefontaine. So just sort of, I thought I'd just recap, and we'll be using various coloured pencils. I've chosen the Derwent Lightfast, the Polychromos, the Pablos, and yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, g'day Will, how you going? It's just you and me, mate. At the moment, so and I'm going to try this paint on, the one that you mentioned last week. So, well, I'm just continuing on with this project, just testing out the papers. Oh, hello Pam, how you going? Hello. Okay, I'm here for half an hour. We'll have to watch this tomorrow. All is good. Okay, so and I've got this the Kneaded Eraser, which is like perfect for some. It just, you know what, it picks this up like pastel. Can you believe it? It picks this Kneaded Eraser, but it's the Faber-Castell one. I've tried the Generals and I'm not too fussed about the Generals. I don't know, because I think it starts to break away a little bit, but I've found that the Faber-Castell Kneaded Eraser really great for picking up pencil, coloured pencil. Dee, hello my dear, how you going? Nice to see you here. All right, so I'm going to continue this. I actually I was sitting around waiting, and of course, like, it's 11 p.m. for me here, so I've just been here in my art space just before, so I thought, oh look, I might as well make a little start. The whole purpose of this study is to test out some papers with coloured pencils, because I want to do a rather a good size coloured pencil piece, and rather go into it and then find that I'm fighting with it, I thought, you know what, it's best just to do some simple studies before I decide to do my piece. And of course, the piece that I'm doing is actually, you know, like a really good size. So, you know, it'll probably be sort of the same kind of subject, but on different pages, on different papers. And so far, my testing on this paper is I'm finding that the Derwent Lightfast is the pencil that I seem to be picking up the most. So I'm going to go, I can show you, I can probably put up the reference. It's sort of like that. There's a little orange, but I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do an orange. I've got a little cherry beside it. So, but you sort of get the gist of what I'm trying to get at. I don't necessarily want to use for the background. I'm not interested at the moment with the background, but you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. I'm finding that yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm really enjoying using the Derwent Lightfast on this surface. What I'm anxious, it's not too bad, I don't mind. I find that on this one, what do we call it all the time? The Fontaine, I find that I have to, and it almost feels like pastel sometimes, where you've got it on Pastelmat, where you've actually got to put quite a bit of pastel down before it sort of starts to do anything that you really want it to do. So and I think it goes with, you know, it's with this one as well for some reason. I don't understand why. It's strange, because usually with coloured pencil, and I'm using light pressure. Oh, g'day Stilke, hello. Well, let me see, you're in Queensland, so it's got to be about 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock for you. Yeah, so this paper's not so bad. I don't mind. I've done some projects on this one, and I've actually found that I don't mind it. But then, there are so many papers to try, and I know that there are, and it all depends the way you work. I feel, there are coloured pencil artists that will swear by a particular surface, and that's like with pastel artists, they will swear by Pastelmat for sure, and I'm one of those people. I don't think I could use anything else for pastel, and even coloured pencil. So when we're talking about Pastelmat, but with this one, it's a watercolor paper, so it's and it's quite strong too, so there's quite a bit of tooth, so you have to put quite a few layers down. Oh, Marcy, hello, how you going? Oh, g'day, Angie, hello, how you going? Nice to see you here. Well, seeing as we've got a group here, I was thinking about some questions. And I've been and I thought, oh, this will be good to talk in the live stream, and wonder what people think. Now, some of these questions I have asked before, and we have discussed these at length, but it's well worth talking about again, because I don't know, things change over time, I suppose, and our ideas change on how we think sometimes. So let me ask you a few questions here, and let me just see. I've had to write them down because, of course, I'm not going to remember them off by heart. Now, one of my questions is, this is a simple one, and the question is, why do you make art? Now, of course, all of these questions that I'm asking you, I'm going to answer myself as well. So why do I make art? And why do you make art? A number of reasons. Why do I make art? I make art because it helps me relax, believe it or not, because sometimes you might be able to get it probably does get a bit stressful when you're doing art pieces and they're not working, but for me it's actually quite relaxing. It's probably because of the approach that I take. So for me, I make art because I enjoy it. It takes me away from my normal day-to-day activities that I have, because I do have a day job. Soon I hope that my art will be my day job one day, but you never know. But that's not now, but down the track. I also, why else do I make art? Why do I make art? I suppose there's a bit of vanity that comes into this part of it. Why do I make art? Because it's something that I'd like to, because I know that I'm capable of doing it, and I actually like to show it off. So if I want to be honest. Anne, hello all. I'm walking my pups again. Oh, this is a good time. Okay, so all I'm doing is talking, so I know what the drill is. Walking my dogs and listening. Chrissy, so can't chat, but want to stop and say hello. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, Angie says, okay, I make art because it's like yoga. It puts me in a great space in my own environment. I like that too. And Pam says, for the enjoyment of it. Oh yes, it gives me, yes, and that is the whole, and that is what that's what I always talk about. Sometimes one of the comments I make when people are showing their art, I always ask the question, did you enjoy it? Or sometimes, like, you can see a piece and you go, geez, you must have enjoyed that. It looks like you would have enjoyed it. But yes, there you go, Pam. Yes, it is my meditation. And I've got to say, it's mine too. It's mine too. It's something, yeah, isn't that funny? So, and, you don't have to be, I don't know, a master or some kind of magnificent artist. That doesn't really matter. The whole point is that it's nice for you inside, you know what I mean? And particularly when you've accomplished something that has been a little bit difficult to tackle, and you may not have tackled it the way you wanted to, but you've made a dent. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've thought about it and you think, you know what, I'm so proud of that, and it makes you feel good. Yes, yeah. So that's some of the things that that's one of the reasons why I make art. And Dee says, I enjoy creating and watching the process unfold. Absolutely. It gives an outlet to my imagination, and even challenges me in all kinds of ways. Absolutely. Oh, I totally agree. And I'm like that too. And I'm forever challenging myself too. I'm forever pushing myself to see, well, can I do it? Can't I do it? And you know what? If I can't do it and if I mess it up, who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? And fortunately or unfortunately for me, you always get to see, with these live streams, you always get to see when I stuff up, or if I've managed to, to accomplish something. It's always a nice surprise sometimes when I've accomplished something where I thought I wasn't going to get anywhere. So yes, I totally get what you're saying when it comes to the challenge as well. And of course, I love creating. I always love creating, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an art piece. It could be like in my mind, I want to do some creative writing. So I don't know what's gotten into my head that I think that I can do it, but you know what? So what? Who cares? I'm not an author. I don't have an extensive vocabulary. I think that, how many ways can you say that something, I don't know, describe a feeling half a dozen times in a story. So if we're talking about, expressing oneself, I know what I'm thinking in my head, but it doesn't come out the same way. Silke says, I enjoy doing something with my hands. Before I painted, I crafted all sorts of things from a young age. And you know what? I also used to love doing that when I was younger. Just creating. Didn't necessarily have to be art. What did I used to do? I used to scrapbooking. I used to sew. And I can still do it. Thankfully, I've got all of those skills. And yeah, crafting. Yeah, I did all of that. Yes. So yes, I think. So then, if we talk about all of those sorts of things, it's all about what you're feeling inside, which is. And this is what will probably make you art for a lot longer. If you're enjoying yourself, you'll just keep on going. Do you know what I mean? Ali, hello, nice to see you here. What are your favourite watercolour brands and your favourite colours in those brands? Oh, here we go. Oh, Ali, the watercolour expert. I'm loving this. Okay, what watercolour brands? And I know that there's a few people in the live stream or in the chat that are watercolor artists and could probably answer that question also, but I'm going to answer it from my part. You know what? I think there are different brands that do different things. For example, and there's quite a few which I like, and I'll give you the reasons why. For example, the Sennelier watercolors. Now, those watercolors are mainly, they're probably a little bit more translucent than a lot of brands, and the reason why I like those ones is because you can layer and just keep on building layers like pastels. You know what I mean? If you just keep on building. So the watercolors, the Sennelier ones, I like them for that reason. I also enjoy using the Schminker. They've got beautiful, vibrant colors, the reds, the blues, oh my gosh, the golds. Oh, I just, look, I love them for their vibrancy. I also enjoy the Daniel Smith, and the reason why I like the Daniel Smith is because they've got some lovely pearlescent colors. They've got colors like, for example, if you lay a particular color down, they've been able to mix certain pigments, so when they apply wet, they're different to when they go dry. And so I love some of the colors that Daniel Smith have. Let me see, and the ones that I've fallen in love with lately are the Roman Schmal. Love them. Oh, and yes, the Magello also. I also like the Magello, and the reason why I like the Magello is because they're opaque. You know, and it all depends what kind of subject that you're painting. So, you know, it all depends on the subject. But yeah, they're all the ones that I can think of from the top of my head. Yes, but that's a really good question. Thank you for that one, Ali. So yours are the Magello Mission Gold. Yes, the Holbein. Also, I like those. The Daniel Smith, lovely. White Knights, yes, I like white. I don't have white Knights. I have seen them, and I can't justify buying another set of watercolors when I have a ton of them. I have so much, and I want, you know, it's always like I want. And of course, Winsor & Newton, the professional watercolors, yes. And Pam likes the Daniel Smith, yes. So, yes, there are lots of lovely watercolor sets that you can buy. I mean, wow. I think it all depends on your budget. Although, having said that, you don't need many colours because you can mix. I totally get that. But you know what? Don't look at me. You know what? Do as I say, not as I do. I have got all kinds of colours, and it's naughty me for doing that. So, but yes, you don't need to buy all the colours. But so then you can buy, you know, maybe a dozen really good quality watercolors. But yes, I like that. I like those questions. I like that question. I've got another question for you, and I know that I've asked this before, but I just wanted to see what your impressions are these days. And okay, here's something, and this is funny. When I ask this question, why are you drawn to certain subjects? Oh my gosh. So this is a good, so while I'm asking this, you can think of your response, but I can tell you, for me, yes, why do I do the subjects that I do? You know what? Again, it probably comes down to enjoying the theme, but let's just set that aside. I always like when something makes me do a double take, like for example, if someone has painted or drawn something unusual and makes me look twice at it, and then I have another good look, and then it draws my eyes to it. This is what, and for me, it's always mostly surreal things. So, you know, for example, if you've got a lemon with a mouth, I mean, why would I ever pick or select a subject such as this? I don't know. It could be my head. I'm not sure. But it just, it's not just a lemon, is it? Or it's not just a dog. It has to have a pipe hanging out of it. That was my latest pastel project, which I've just uploaded onto the internet, and which I've done on my Patreon, which I was doing on my Patreon channel. You know what I mean? It's just, it's got to make me look at it twice, I think. But yes, I mean, this is me. It must be my brain. Although sometimes, like, some things do have a story, but sometimes things don't. Ali says, okay, hang on. Dee says, I want something that tells a story. There you go. And of course, sometimes, like, you know, you might go into a gallery and there are all of these beautiful paintings, and especially ones that do tell a story, and you gravitate towards that one painting, and you can sit there and look at it and try to, it gives you some emotion. Yes, no, totally, Dee. Ali says, there is a colour called Violet Rose PV2 in White Nights, but fugitive. Sorry, I have to go now. Oh, no, that's okay. Thank you so much, Ali, for popping in and saying good day and asking questions and in the conversation. Okay, there is a colour called Violet Rose PV2 in White Nights. Oh, yes. I mean, White Nights are very good. I've seen them. They're artist quality paints. So, yes, most definitely. Yes. Well, thank you for popping by. Hope to see you again soon. So, yeah, and the subjects that I'm also drawn to, apart from the ones that there are some which, most of the artwork that I've done, I can't say that any of them have had any kind of meaning, apart from, it could be just a handful of them, of all of the ones, and it was because I was trying to say something. A lot of the artwork that I do it's only because I like to look at it aesthetically. Yes, but yeah. Ange says, in my art journey, I tend to gravitate towards Mother Nature. Love Mother Nature. I tend to, Mother Nature and animals for the most part. I come to the conclusion that our earth is amazing and I am in awe with all the beauty. Oh, that's lovely. And yes, I also love nature. When I think about it, I think most of the stuff that I paint is nature. I've painted animals, humans, landscapes. Yeah. It's very rare, I think, that I've done objects. That's interesting. That's very interesting, yes. Very interesting. Also, oh, okay. And Pam, you're also drawn to nature too. Yes, I know you are. I've seen some lovely paintings of that you've done as well, that are all landscapes in watercolor and all kinds. You've done all kinds, I've seen. Yes. Let me see, here we go. This is really interesting. Watch what happens here when I do this. Just picks it up. Look at that. It's amazing. That's amazing. It must be the paper. It's got to be the paper. It's got to be the paper. Anyway, I wanted to go a little bit light here, so yes, and I thought I might just okay, Pam, okay, I'll see you later. Talk again soon, my dear. Hope all is well with you. I just wanted to digress. Okay. Oh, and they says, I like to let the viewer come up with their own story, not so much invent the story myself. Well, that's interesting. Well, you allow the viewer to, to make their own assumption, to maybe see things that you haven't seen, and that's happened to me too. Like I've painted something, and I didn't do it so much for a story, but there was one particular piece I did where there was one side there was this female, and she'd closed her eyes, and there was this angel who was, and they had there was eye contact there, although the angel that was looking up at this lady that I had painted was just looking into her eyes, or just looking up. And I had someone who had made a comment, and for me it was just painting skin tones, but for the viewer saw something in it that I didn't see, quite spiritual, things like that. So I thought, you know what, and it just goes to what you were saying too, Annie. And Angie says, I am liking the vintages artworks. Like, oh yeah, and steampunk as well. Are you into steampunk? I love steampunk, by the way. And Anne says, and I love your art because of that. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. It brings up so many ideas and stories. Oh my gosh. Some people, when they view my artwork, they go, Chrissy, what have you been smoking? I said, I can assure you I haven't been smoking anything. It's just coming out of my brain. Oh dear, that's so funny. That's so funny. But yes, yeah. And for me, like, I don't mind trying different things. Out of my comfort zone. That's another thing. Would you venture out of your own comfort zone? Unfortunately, mine happens publicly, so you get to see all my all my stuff ups again, like what I was talking about before. But well, that's just how it is, isn't it? Okay. And they says, sometimes in art exhibitions I feel awkward when they ask to come up with some story for the art I'm presenting. Wow, I know. And a lot of and I know some of your a lot of your, I mean, I love your art, Anna. You're one of my favorite artists. I've got it. You know that because I've told you that. A lot of your art is just so pretty, so creative, so inventive, and it doesn't necessarily have to have a story. And I can imagine, and you haven't meant it to be a story, and I can imagine you're probably trying to think of, what am I going to say to this person? Yeah. Angie says, yes. Oh, yeah, and same here. Yes, okay. It's those mushrooms and the wine you are drinking. You reckon? Probably. Everyone says that to me. What you're drinking? Yes. I wasn't smoking. I could have been drinking something. That's for sure. Yes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so another question. Another question I have for you. Oh, well, the question that I had probably goes in connection of what you said, Annie. What connection do you have with your art piece? I don't know. What connection other than me painting it? Yeah, so it goes by what we mentioned before. So, yeah. If someone was to say to me, I tell you what, out of all of the art pieces that I've done, and I've done quite a few, I feel a connection to probably maybe 2 or 3. Other than that, there is no emotion. No emotion. So if someone says to you, Chrissy, can if they wanted to buy one, I go, yep, go ahead. I would not, I wouldn't hesitate if we're talking emotion and connection. And I'll tell you what, the one of the ones that I'm really connected to is the one where my logo or the one that you see on my avatar. That is a piece which I have done. And it's not on my YouTube channel because it was one of the first pieces that I've done. And I don't know what it is that makes me connect to it. I don't understand it. I can't tell you. I don't know whether it's the color. It's the violet and the gold. Purple is one of my favorite colors. I don't know whether it's the way I painted the eye. It is a surreal top painting. I don't know why I'm connected to it, and I just can't let go of that. So there's that one, and my Element Realms painting. It's the really big one. That, I mean, if someone wanted to buy it, of course I would sell it, but it would be like, I'd be, okay, all right, go. It'd be like that. Go, all right, I'll let you have it. You know what I mean? Or I keep on making it too expensive so people can't buy it. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, that's bad, isn't it? But yes, and yeah. So if we're talking about what connection do you have with your art piece or art pieces, very little bar a few. So I'd be interested to see if you have connections to it. Would you part with certain artwork is my question probably as well. Yeah. If someone was to ask you. Yeah. Right now I'm just doing really light layers here. I'm not going to use mineral spirits. I'm just using the pencil and just going to be layering. So at the moment this is very much the ugly stage. So yes, so that was my question to you. Yes, what does your what connection do you have? And while I thought I'm just going to digress a little bit. I've already started to have a few people who are sending me their landscapes for the Xrissart landscape challenge. I am so gobsmacked. I feel sorry for Will when it comes to judging these. That's all I'm going to say. So, and for those, and we've still got until the end of February. So for those who are wanting to submit their work, we've still got plenty of time, but you know, get cracking, I suppose, at the same time. Yes. And what I've done on Share Your Art with, I've put a notice in the Unmask Art group as well for those who are wanting to participate, and I've in there, and I've also put it on Share Your Art with Xrissart. Also, for those who are perhaps maybe not inspired and want to participate but don't know what to paint, I've actually put a few suggestions, some some references, you know, for you to have a go at if you're not feeling that you're not sure what to paint. So feel free. These are from to use them. They're from Pixabay. They're royalty free, and so you should yeah. So I've done that. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, good luck, Will. Okay. I wouldn't. There you go. So far, I haven't been. Okay. Oh, here we're responding to the question. So far, I haven't been connected to my art. Like my crafts, anything I feel worth is giving away. Okay. And Silke says, I wouldn't sell the portraits I've done of my dogs and the cat. Well, I suppose, well, they're the ones that that mean something to you, of course. Of course. I mean, I've done a portrait of my husband, and of course I wouldn't sell that one or give that one away anyway. People wouldn't want that one. And the poor guy, I feel so sorry for him. He's been asking for a portrait like for years. And I go, yep, it's coming, and it hadn't. And all of a sudden, which I've actually got to post, which I will post, because I'm just in the middle of doing the video. Oh my God, I've got so much, I've got so much going. Yeah, so something like that, I probably wouldn't let go either. G'day, Janice. Hello, how you going? Okay. Angie says, I'm hoping to make it in, but need to get started. Well, chop. Get stuck into it. Yes. I mean, it could also be like a very, very loose watercolor painting. You know what I mean? Which, you know, would probably not take you so long. Here's me. Oh, geez, when I talk about things like that. Oh, dear. Anyway. Okay, looks like your fruit are having a good laugh. I'll say. Janice. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay, definitely I would have to say that, let me see. Definitely I would have to say I like the Derwent Lightfast on this surface. No, I don't want this color. I'm not sure about the Polychromos on this, but anyway. Yeah, not sure. But anyway. Hang on. Okay. Let me see, what other question can I give you? Okay. Did I ask what inspires you? Yeah, what inspires you? Did I ask that question? Surely not. I didn't think I asked that question. What inspires you? What inspires me? I think I've asked that question. Oh my God. Am I getting dementia? Jeez. Probably. Easy for you to say watercolor may be the answer here. Yes, well, there you go. Do some good quickies, Angie. That's it. All right. Yeah. Jenna says, the strange thing about being attached to a piece is it's the piece that I did for the last group painting, but it's only part of a ginger of a ginger picture. So not sure why I'm attached to it. And I know the piece that I know the piece that you did. It was part of a pyramid. It wasn't even the full pyramid. And I know, and you did such a really good job on that. Isn't that interesting? Because I think you, with that one, Janice, you were trying out the texture. You'd bought, or you're wanting to try texture, and you got it, like you did it. It happened the way you wanted it, and it just and I think it probably came up better than what you thought. And I think it was, you felt good doing it. I think part of it was emotion. I mean, is it? I'm not sure. Greater picture. There you go. Yes, it was part of a greater picture. Yeah. I think. Yeah. No, and you did really well on that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about the Polychromos on here. I'm not really fussed on this one. Okay, but I'll just persevere, so I know not to use Polychromos on this surface. But I'll just keep at it. The idea is not to fight with your art supplies too. I mean, it's got to be an enjoyable process. So if I've got so many nice art supplies for various, applications, and definitely I'm not going to fight with it. So yeah. But I'll persevere a little bit just to see, maybe it's me, maybe it's the surface, not sure. Okay. Yes, that's right, Chrissy, says Janice. I may have to create it with everything intact. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, see, and that goes, like, I mean, why would I be attached, like for my avatar that you see, like, why would I be attached to it? I don't know. I don't know what it is that attracted me so much to it, that I like it so much that I put it on every social media platform that I'm on. I've got it on YouTube, I have it, I have it on Facebook, I've got it on Instagram. Heck, I've even got it on Discord. What else have I got it on that I can think of? Just so much. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, I don't know why. I think, is it because of the colour? I don't know what it is. But yeah, that's interesting. All right. And another question. I've got another question for you. There's too many questions. What do you do? And we talk about this a lot, and I've talked about this for a lot, I know. What do you do if you're in a slump? How do you get out of it? That's a question. How do you get out of your slump? Tell you how I get out of mine. Try not to get into one is probably what. But yes, no, I do get into slumps. Don't you worry. I do have my yes. How do I get out of mine? I can't afford to stay in a slump for too long. That's what happens with me, because I have art commitments, and so I just if I'm going through a stage, I just push past it, just keep on going. And of course, creating art any kind of craft is something that I enjoy. I will probably end up, what happens to me is that I normally start looking at other images, references sometimes. Sometimes I will do something different to get out of a slump, but it's not for too long. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let me just have some more water. Dee says, what inspires is actually a hard question. Yes. Sometimes it is a conversation, something I see, a story I concoct, or it just comes out of what seems like nowhere. I love that answer. I love that answer, Dee. What inspires actually is a hard question. Sometimes it is a conversation, yes. Because it sparks an idea, you see. You might be talking and you go, oh, hang on a minute. That's a bloody good idea. And then that's what happens. I actually write things down sometimes from a conversation. True. Something I see, yes. In my case, sometimes that I dream. I dream certain things. But yes, a story I concoct. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, very much. I like that answer. Angie says, slumps are awful. Yes, they are. But I will do other things which always bring me back to my art. Yes, and that's what it is. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Okay, now I'm using Pablos on here. Now the Pablo, okay. This is a hard core. The core is hard. Then comes Polychromos. Then comes the Derwent. They're softer. That's in order. For what I've got here. Let me see. There's also the luminance. I reckon the luminance is there in between the Derwent and the Polychromos. This is when I'm talking about hardness of core, I find, for me, people might find it differently, I don't know, but yes. Yeah. So, and I think what can happen is that you shouldn't go too hard, I suppose, because you could damage the tooth. Yeah. So it's just very, very faint here, what I'm doing here. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Yes. So there's some of the things that I've been thinking about, you know what I mean? And I thought it'd be really good to talk about it in the live stream. And I was just, you know what also, and for me to come, sometimes when I'm not feeling, when I'm not feeling it sometimes, but I want to be in my art space. And what I normally do is I don't want to concentrate, because sometimes there are certain things that require concentration. So I get out my colouring in books. I've got some from Joanna Badford, and I just will put on an audio book, or I'll put on some music, and I'll just get my colouring in book, and I'll just grab a handful of colouring in pencils, I don't care what colours, and then I just start colouring in. And that, most of the time when I do that, that gets me back into my art. See, for me, and that's why I was saying to you, like for me, I can't I can't lose my mojo, or if I do lose my mojo, I can't lose it for too long, because I live stream 3 times a week. I'm on Patreon Monday nights and Tuesday nights for me, Aussie time, and then I'm on YouTube here, and mind you, I love it. I've been doing it for such a long time now. I love it. It's one of it's definitely my me time. But so that's what I'm saying. I can't be, and they're my commitments, and so I can't lose my mojo for too long. So, you know, I try to give myself a bit of a break as well, like during the week. Usually Thursdays is my night off, where I just move away from my art space, and you know. Oh, and of course, you know, the dog's coming. It's another story as well. Okay, Marcy says, organising my art supplies, I hope, will be my Kickstarter, collecting the materials has lit a match. I hope the spark becomes a flame. The self-portrait for here was my last drawing. Wow. And you know what, Marcy, I saw your I saw your images on Share Your Art with Xrissart, where you showed us your art space, and that was so nice, so nice. And I mean, sometimes that's all it really is, like going through your art supply sometimes helps. You know, I find that helps for me, you know, just having a look at papers, sorting out, organising, reorganising, that gets you in the, you know, in the swing of it. Yes, so yes, no, I totally relate with that one. And Silke says, looking at my recent purchases, oh, hang on a sec. Okay, I can see that I've been in a slump quite a bit. But that's normal, you see. That's what I mean. Like, we're all going through, we do go through these things, and it is normal. So, yeah. Definitely normal. And it's funny how when you're saying like organising your art supplies, I came across, I was just having a look in some of my cupboards, and this goes, you know, this is changing the subject a little bit, but I just wanted to find out, do any of you have something like this? Now this would have to be probably one of the most interesting and valuable tools that any artist could ever have, or any artist any person getting into art, and especially for those who have trying to figure out what colours make what. And you know what? This is so damn good. Like, for example, you know, here, adding black to yellow orange will give you like a mustard colour. So if you had like a handful of pencils and you had a tool like this, and if you weren't sure how to colour mix, this tool is like one of the best tools ever. Like, for example, adding white here, and you get this pastel coloured, it's almost, you know, like, it's just amazing how they've done it. Like, I'm trying to look to see like underneath how they've done it. It's just interesting how they've done that. So yeah, no matter where you flick it, you know. And of course these are the opposites you'll see, you know, when you're like the complementary colors. So for example, look, there you go, red and green. And the reason why I pull this out as well is because sometimes when you've got problems trying to figure out what color, So for example, I've got this red, but I really would like, I'm not going to do this, but just say for example, I've got this red, but I want this tomato to, you want this tomato to stand out. Well, it's probably good if you do like a, you know, a green background. Have a look at complementary. Do you know what I mean? So when you've got, yeah. And of course here you've got the values, which is really cool. Do you know? Yeah. Okay, Dee, bye for now. Time to go to the art club. Thank you so much for popping in to say g'day. Have a good time at the art club. I'll probably pop in later just to say hello. Yeah, it's nearly midnight for me actually, so that's what happened. That's what's so, this daylight saving is killing me. I can't join in as much as I'd like to. But yeah, so this is a really, and of course this is a really small one. I've seen really big ones of these, so, but I just thought I would see if you add blue and orange and you'll get, it's almost like a muted green grey. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. So I thought I'd just show this just so yeah, for those who have trouble color mixing, perfect. This is a perfect tool. So I just thought I'd bring it out and ask if people have that, you know what I mean? Angie says, I have had this wheel since my first year of high school. I had to buy it, but wasn't really arting at that time. Funny how I had to have it, and to this day I still have my color wheel. Oh, that's fantastic. But isn't it a good tool? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a really good tool. If, so for example, this orange and this red, and if you're adding red, well, you see there's the, yeah, well, it gives you a richer orange. Yeah, but it's so cool. Blue and yellow make green. Wow. I mean, you know. Yeah, but I just, and as you turn the wheel, I just think it's so cool. You know, all the colours that you could possibly, you know, the primary colours and the complementary colours. But yes. So if I'm stuck, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Okay. You have the same one too, Janice. Okay. All right. And you've got the same wheel too. Yeah. Isn't that good, Silke? Yes. Yeah. No, it's so cool. I definitely think it helps. Yeah. I think after I finish this tomato, I think I've probably done enough on this paper to realize that maybe the project that I want to do will not be on this excuse me, on this surface. Yeah. Angie says, I always have my color wheel out as reference. It's great. Oh, absolutely. I agree. I agree totally. Well, folks, I'm getting closer to getting my puppy. I've got, I contacted the breeder, and 4.5 weeks to go. Who's counting? Who's counting? Yeah. Me, that's who's counting. It was so funny. I'm so excited. The excitement is not equal to from when my children were born, but I tell you what, it's up there. It's up there. Ah, dear. Okay, which paper is that again? This one, I'll show you. That one. Fontaine. Aquarelle. Oh, it's lovely paper. It's really, really nice with the Derwents. But what I want to do is, the reason why this is probably not my first choice is because I want to use other pencils other than just Derwent. But really, really nice. What's really good is that it's allowing me to lift. I mean, it's a good paper. It's allowing me to lift. Like, look at that. That is like super cool. See, I went too dark there, so that's why I'm doing that. Yeah. Um, 4.5 weeks of, oh wow, so exciting. This will be a long 4 weeks. Oh, the longest, Angie, the longest weeks. Gosh. You should see what I'm buying. This dog is costing me so much money. It's more than the dog itself. We've just put, 2 days ago, our fence has gone in. So it's nice and enclosed now. Sad, sad, sad. Yeah, just... if I was to talk about it anymore, you'd tell me to shut my trap because I'm talking too much about it. But I can't help it. I can't help it. Okay. Oh yes, Fontaine. I've fallen in love with the Arches hot print. Yes. Well, you know what? That'll have to be my next one. That's on my list. Marcy says, I was just going to say, kind of like being an expecting mum. Yes, honestly. I wouldn't want to tell my kids that I'm getting excited and that the feeling is almost, well, of course it's not the same serious, silly me, but, you know. Okay, the things you do for love. Exactly. Oh, good thing you don't have to wait 9 months, Chrissy, says Janice. Yes, I know, but you know. That's right. Could you imagine? Oh, yeah. I don't think I could wait 2 months. Could I? Is it possible? Yeah. So there's plenty of training. When that happens, I'll probably have to, I won't, let me see, will I be able to live stream? Well, I'm taking some time off work. I'm doing that. Oh yeah, there's a level of dedication here because I need to train it like almost straight away. Yeah. Almost straight away. Hang on, I'm just going to sharpen my pencil here. Yeah. And the sharpener that I'm using, for people who are interested, it is the Derwent, and this is the, I'm getting it really nice and sharp. Yeah. And this one is Forest. Yeah. Yeah. yes, so that's the, when I get it, I'm going to put, I'll put some photos on Share Your Art, so at least we know you can see what I've been talking about. You know what, even like that dog breed that I'm getting, even the girls, like the females, look like blokes. Just, do you know what I mean? I don't get why I like it so much. I don't understand why I like it so much. I don't know. There's that weird part of me. That's that weirdness that I have. Yeah. So, why am I doing that? Oh, you love that sharpener? Yeah. Oh, it's really, I mean, look at that. Actually, probably I should sharpen this. I need it sharp. Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much what's been happening, really. Yeah, so, and for those who are, I'm just mention as well, for those who are, oh, why is that going down there? It's not supposed to be there. Oh, bugger. Doesn't matter. For those who are just stumbling on my channel and or have just stumbled into the live stream and wondering what Share Your Art with Xrissart. Share Your Art with Xrissart is a Facebook page where we continue the conversation from the live stream, and sometimes like we talk about our, we talk about general things on the live stream, and we continue to talk about them on Share Your Art with Xrissart. So it's a good way for us to, stay engaged. I think that's what it is. That's the word I'm probably trying to find. Staying engaged, and where we get to, it's a safe Facebook page where we all feel very comfortable. The rules, in fact, there's hardly any rules. It's just really being, respectful to each other. So, and we get to see what's sort of going on in people's art journeys. It's not so much of a personal thing, but it's more art journeys. Yeah. So these are all just the base layers of what I'm doing here, and then I just keep on building at the moment. So I just wanted to do that for the time being. Okay. They're dogs, Chrissy. Only one way to tell if they're male or female. I know. Oh dear. That's right. There's only one way. But this particular breed that that I'm getting, even the females look like a male. Yeah. See, this pencil, the Derwent Lightfast on this is beautiful. Just, you know what? This pencil is just gliding on this paper. And this is what I used last time on this. I did a whole project on it, and it was just gorgeous. What happens is the more layers I put, the more layers it allows me to put onto here, onto the surface. I'm not burnishing, but I'm now starting to put just a little bit more pressure. Yeah, real nice. Ah, thank you so much, Janice. Thank you so much for doing that. That's cool. Ah, yeah. So I suppose it's brownish. I use purple. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to keep on building layers now, but I want something that's a bit orangey. So have you my question is, do you experiment before you go ahead and do projects? Do you experiment? Now the reason why I asked that is because I have done so many projects where I've planned it out, and this is like in years gone by, I've planned it out and I start to use the art supplies and then find that I'm fighting with it, and then I'm thinking, why didn't I just do a little test piece? So my question is, do you do test pieces before you start on something perhaps maybe a little bit larger? For me now, I don't do this for my pastel pieces because I've got a pretty good idea as to how things will work, but with mediums, say, that I don't use very often, that I know how to use, like for example coloured pencil, it's deciding what surface to use, because then that depends on the pressure that I would use, you know what I mean? Or would I use OMS? Do I make that decision and not use OMS? You see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. Yeah. Got to say, teeth are not the easiest sometimes. I'm okay with lips, but the teeth is always... because teeth aren't always white. Oh, look, I just kept on thinking that it was pastel. Yes. Can't get over how this picks, just can't get over how it does that. It's incredible. It's incredible how it does that. Definitely is a very slow process, the coloured pencil, but I think the way I use pan pastels is probably not as slow as the coloured pencil, but I tell you what, it's just a few notches above that. Very satisfying. I love this. I love using coloured pencil. The only thing is I wish it wouldn't take so bloody long to do things. And that's why I'm doing these studies, because I want to make sure that the surface that I'm using is the right thing for what I'm doing. Do I burnish? Do I use odorless mineral spirits? These are all the decisions that I'm going to make, and it all depends on the surface and how these work, the pencils. You know, so you know, layering and things like that. And for me, sometimes, like, I'm not worried too much about the color as I am the value. Yeah, so Angie says, sometimes I do test pieces, but I find my original test piece usually turns out the best. Isn't that strange? Hey, and that happens to me too. Yeah, I've done that too, where I've, I'm doing some studies, and then all of a sudden it starts to become something better than what I thought. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Janice says, for those who used coloured pencils, have you tried the Holbein Metz blender or other pencils? It's a water-based blender. I think I'll buy it and see how it works. I need something other than OMS. Yeah. Melts. Yes. And that's a fair question too. Yeah, some people just don't want to use OMS, and sometimes, and that's one decision I've made. I don't want to use OMS in my coloured pencil piece, and I like it. I like OMS, of course. I've used it so many times, but I've made that conscious decision to do that. So that's why I'm testing out. I just can't get over how this Kneaded Eraser picks up this pencil. I just can't get over it. I just can't get over it. It sounds like melts. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I just can't get over how it does that. Just trying to find. See, because the one thing, see, it's it looks a bit grainy. I can see what you're looking at, so I want to avoid the grainy bit. So if I want to avoid the grainy bit, I've got, hang on, I've got the Caran d'Ache blender. I just want to see how that works. Hang on, I was playing on it. So if I wanted to get rid of that, I suppose I could do that. And that gets rid of the grainy bit, flattens it out. Yeah, look, I've chopped the I don't mind using the blenders. Yep. Well, that solves that problem, doesn't it? And I suppose for it to work successfully, you would have to use enough, you'd have to have enough coloured pencil layers for it to work. Yep, that's not so bad. Yep. This bit here is grainy, but I don't have enough coloured pencil down. So let's see if I can pick up, let me see if I can pick up after, oh, it does. Wow, that's weird. That's good though. FYI, the brush and pencil textured fixative works really well on arches. Does it really? Oh wow, that's so good. Well, that's good to know. Ah, you've been playing, Janice. Wow, that's not bad. After I've burnished, that's really good. That's all right. That's all right. Chrissy, more like making mistakes than playing. Oh, okay, okay. Silke says, I don't think we can get it here in Australia. What is this? The Holbein Melts Blender. So is that like in pencil format? Is it like that? Or it's in wooden casing and it's that kind of thing, is it? Yeah. Yeah, interesting. But this is really good. I really like this. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway. All right. Well, let me see. I think I've done enough with this. I won't go on into anything else, but there we go. So funny. These things make me laugh. All right, I think that will be it for today. Okay, Silke says, I use Zest-It, which is non-toxic, but would like to try the melts. Well, there you go. Well, I think I'll leave it there for today. I think I've managed to do what I can and trying to make up my mind. I mean, I might play around with this a little bit more and make it look, you know, at least let's have the tomato and the cherry sitting on a bench space. I'll make that without the, you know, without the scenery in the back. But yes, now look, I just wanted to say, thank you so much for keeping me company and for joining in the chat. And I'll see you all again next week. So bye for now, everyone.